Be part of that one. We did awesome. I gotta say, you were amazing. So what do you think? I mean, what stood out to you this season?
So everyone's going to be like, oh, yeah, so everyone's been able to see all Cloud9's tricks and everything that they've pulled out. People have been able to see a lot of things that Cloud9 have tried and failed at.
Yeah.
And that doesn't help you that much. You're like, okay, we know that Cloud9 haven't been able to use Amumu that well, or we know they're probably not going to do Ashe anymore into, dive-heavy stuff.
Yeah.
But their players have such deep champion pools that the stuff that has worked still has a decent amount of variance.
Yeah, it's interesting because they're bringing new stuff out each time. Like, we saw 5 games in the first one, and we kind of, saw the high jungle tier list. Like, when it fell down to Kha'Zix, we're like, okay, he's, out of stuff. Like, we understand High's pool now. And then, the rest of C9, bringing out even more stuff. Okay, by the way, the Vayne is really scary. By the way, obviously the Trace is still good. That's kind of expected. But at least it allows the other teams, like Liquid, to be like, okay, we know they might bring out Vayne. Is that actually a risk for us? They can pre-plan for the comps that at least that they know exist and say, of these now, which are the scary ones, and then sort of whittle down from there. So there is some information gained. They can kind of, from the enemy side, choose which comps they want to deal with.
Yep.
I think that matters to a certain extent.
Cloud9 have also switched up so much during this series.
Right. Which I'm glad to see, by the way. You heard them a couple times talk about they had a lot of time to rest. They weren't part of the
They needed to change up so much in order to survive.
Right, and we saw 5 different styles of compositions essentially throughout today and yesterday. So I'm glad to see C9 able to execute different styles against different teams based on the champions that are available.
Yeah.
So I mean, massive props to them for that.
I'd say the one that stayed the most static is Balls in the top lane, either Maokai or Rumble.
Yeah.
All over. And so if Team Liquid, they do have a really powerful tool in Quas in the top lane.
Yeah. When we saw the Biz come in, it destroyed them.
They might develop a strategy around top lane because top lane and top lane counter picks are such a big part of the game right now.
And I think Quas is definitely one of the guys to do it. He's got a great champion pool. He's a great player overall. We'll see if that one happens. Now, guys at home, that's going to do it for me and Kobe. So let's send it over to our analyst desk to close out day 2.
Thanks, guys. Funny seeing you here. Great cast on the day. And gentlemen, the series has finally ended. We'll have another 5 games tomorrow, apparently, if history repeats itself once again. But another great showing in the beginning by not Cloud9. Will they be able to fix that coming into tomorrow? Because that is also repeating itself.
Well, they talked a lot about their pick and ban phase when you had them here. And Lemonation, being introspective, realizes that he's making a lot of bad choices in Champion Select, which is the first step to repairing those things, not being stubborn about them, realizing Bubba has a lot of the answers and opening that conversation up. Because I think the drafting was just awful the first 2 games. And then when he picked the Karma up again, I was like, no.
Didn't they say they had problems with that the day before, though, that they were going to fix that? And they're like, I recognize that we have the problems. We're going to have it fixed for this day. It's not going to happen again. It's like, oh, wait, it just happened again.
And when they don't have drafting errors, those are the games that they're actually walking away with because then their shot calling shines through. And then they play to their win conditions. So if they're able to pull that out against TL, we might have an interesting series because I'm expecting TL to win. But if Cloud9 don't have those losses due to Champion Select errors and things that they realize later on in the game they should have changed at Champion Select, we'll have a very interesting series.
Well, looking forward, there was one player who went above and beyond today and claimed our Player of the Series honors. For the 2nd day in a row, it is Incarnation. Once again, he was a rock for his team, Cloud9. Incarnation turned in solid performances with Yasuo, Diana, and Azir to help his team keep their shot at Worlds alive. And along with him, everybody did step up. But seeing from where Incarnation has come from to now is huge.
Yeah, it's really a different Incarnation that we're seeing here in the regional qualifiers. And near the end of the split, his numbers went through the roof in CS differential. And up against Gate, he really shined. Sneaky was very close to nabbing this honors with his ending of the last 3 games. But those first 2 games just had a lot of weight because he was just getting camped so much. So we had to give this Incarnation. He had an outstanding performance. Even in their losses, he was very consistent.
He's going to have to play like this tomorrow as well if he's going to even try to do anything against Phoenix.
I mean, he's got to play against Phoenix, but I mean, Phoenix has gotten a lot of flack, basically saying that he can only play Azir. I mean, granted, he probably is the best Azir, if not Bjergsen. It's either him or Bjergsen's the best Azir player, but I want to see what the contested picks are going to be, and I want to see what Phoenix can play besides Azir and Ahri, because that's the only thing I've seen him really shine on recently.
He's got a little bit of Victor in there, too. It's not that great, though.
There's an Urgot, but you always find another ban list anyways.
Yeah, I feel like Incarnation just has the deeper champion pool, though. So I think if you stretch Phoenix out, it's going to be kind of rough for Team Liquid.
Absolutely. Well, another series is in the history book, so let's see how the bracket is filling out right now. Cloud9 have kept their miracle run alive, and now the only team standing between them and third trip to Worlds is Team Liquid. We'll be kicking off our final day of the regional qualifier tomorrow morning, starting in Berlin with Origin versus Unicorns of Love. Then we'll see how Cloud9 can handle Team Liquid back here in Los Angeles immediately following the conclusion of that series. All that will hit your browser starting at 8 a.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Central European Summertime. Now, before we sign off, we are going to once again dip right into the Ask Saint mailbag to see what pressing questions you have been tweeting us. Round 2, Saint, the points are doubled, and the questions are definitely going to be a lot harder. So our first one comes from Seidel Sky 18. Ask, in your opinion, what is the biggest difference between competitive League of Legends and solo queue?
Outside of people reporting each other all the time,
Indeed.
I think the communication thing's really big. Like, you can be like, hey man, I'm gonna gank bottom after I do this, and I'll be there, and you can just say it to somebody, you know. But with solo queue, it's like I gotta ping and I gotta type it out,
And then ping 2 more times.
Yeah, and then ping 2 more times, and then show up for the gank, and then nobody does anything, and I die, and I'm like, man. And then I report them.
A difference that we all live with, except for the professional playing part. And our next one comes from Ruskun, writes in, given your unfortunate infamy with missed smites, what advice would you give for 50-50 smiting situations?
Make sure your support knows to kick, like if they have Alistar or something or Janna, they can like headbutt the guy out so he can't come in and smite.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Say it again. Say it again.
Well, no,
to get rid of the advice.
No, it's true though. I mean, on everybody. If you have a move that can keep somebody out, or even if you're like the top laner or the mid laner, you need to zone the other guy out. Like, why make it a 50-50? Like, why don't you help the jungler out and just take out the option of getting smite stolen in to begin with? I know, like, this is me giving that advice, but it's good, man. It's good.
You're saying you missed those smites because they didn't keep the other guy out. It's not your fault.
Yeah, I have a follow-up for this, though.
Blame it on somebody else.
Yeah.
Do you like being the one to smite with your team, or being the guy that's going to come in to steal?
I like the guy coming in, to be honest.
I think everybody.
And though you're probably going to die after you get it, you're like, nice.
Well, also when you're the one trying to secure it, if you secure it, you're like, okay, that's what we're supposed to do. And then if you lose it, it's like, oh, that's my fault. Or if you're the guy coming in, you're like, all right, well, if I steal it, I'm the god of the game.
If you don't,
and if I don't, well, it was over anyway.
But like, nice
whatever.
try, man. Like,
Yeah.
You know, you tried.
You got nothing to lose and everything to gain.
Yep. All right, our final question from Dingle Hopper Lowell wants to know, are you enjoying your time more as a coach than as a player?
I really like coaching a lot. I mean, I've been playing the game for like 6 years, so I definitely feel like I picked up some knowledge while I've been playing. And I mean, there's a lot of new players that I'm teaching. Like Shrimp, this is his first competitive split, and I think it helps out the players a lot that I can pass on all that knowledge to them. And it's honestly like a little bit more relaxing in some ways, but it's also a lot more stressful. Like when you send the players into the game, it's like, all right, I hope they do good, and you're just sitting there like biting your nails and stuff.
You're still clicking in the back, like you're watching a football game or something. You're like, gotcha, do it, go.
Yeah, you're like calling the game, but you're not in the game, so you can't do anything. You just have to, it's like a roller coaster ride. You're just like sitting there like, okay, like I hope
they do what I taught them.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, and finally, one more Twitter conversation that caught our attention and captures the feeling going around during C9's second reverse sweep. And Saint, for this one, you were the one asking the questions, hitting up Phoenix to see if Liquid were prepared for the C9 reverse sweep tomorrow.
Well, he said they're just going to lose the first 2 games, so.
So
they're not going to take the first 2 games.
Not going to win the first 2.
Yeah.
Do you feel like that's good, though?
Well, I mean,
with the way things have been
going
right now,
strategy.
You kind of give C9 the false sense of security here instead of take it away from them, because I feel like you take it away and they get even more mad, like it's their 2-year-old's toy.
Yeah, you take away their like C9's strongest aspect. That's the reverse sweep, and you just hit them with the reverse sweep back. It's the only way to work.
It's the reverse aspect strategy. We'll see. Special thanks to Saint Vicious for joining us today. And now for myself, the casters, and the entire live broadcast crew, thank you very much for joining us. And we'll see you tomorrow over here. And
there. 2 best-of-5s sit between either of these teams.